Hello and welcome to episode 22 of the Inner Miami Show. I'm one half of your hosting duo, Brandon Griffin, and with me is Mike, Twitter Wars Longan. How you doing, my friend?
I am so thankful we're doing the show today. I think we all saw Wednesday night. I spent a lot of time on Twitter. Thursday morning was debating feeding the trolls, and we talked. I wanted to do a short, and I just wanted to go off and decided not to. But we're here tonight. I get to go off. What's up, Pablo?
What's going on, man?
Glad you're joining the show. I'm excited. We got a lot to talk about. I think
we do.
We're going to go in. We're going to talk about this CONCACAF game. We're going to talk about Tata. I am definitely pulling the soapbox out and ranting on Tata. And then I think it's other things. But yeah, no, I'm excited.
This episode's going to be a roller coaster. It's going to be some good, some confusing, some bad, and some hashtag Mike rants.
You know what I'm realizing? It's Friday night. I need a drink. I got some rum next to me. I'm gonna pour myself a little rum. You kind of get us going, and I'm gonna pour myself some rum real quick.
All right. Well, if we're doing this, we're doing it. This was not planned.
No. I'm just gonna sit here. I've got rum. I've got a glass. The rum.
Cheers, my friend. I got a mini fridge right next to me.
Cheers. So. I used to have a mini fridge in my office, but the problem is can't talk away from the microphone. Problem is it's too hot. The room actually got really warm with the fridge. So
yeah.
So let's do this. Let's talk about something fun. Let's jump into something that's I think something that it's passion that you and I are really excited about.
And we've mentioned it a couple times. We've mentioned it a couple times on the show. Let's jump right into it. Fort Lauderdale United. So for those of you who don't know, sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, please.
No, for those of you who haven't listened to us before, don't know, Fort Lauderdale is getting a new USL Super League women's team. It will be Fort Lauderdale's first professional women's soccer or sports team of any kind. They have started taking season ticket holder deposits. It's $25 right now, regardless of where you're sitting, with prices to come out as you talk to your rep. Memberships are starting at $196 per season, which is roughly $14 a match. With that, you're getting like discounted parking, exclusive member gift, meet the team event, priority ticket access for playoffs, and probably some more stuff. If you haven't checked it out, their website is ftlutd.com. If you Google Fort Lauderdale United, they will come up. And yeah, Mike, you want to?
Yeah. So I've been talking to the club a little bit. So what I've been talking about with them right now is two things that I'm really excited about. One is Greenlight Gang is a season ticket holder group for Inter Miami. And I've been talking to them first off about how do we do something similar for Lauderdale United. One that's actually a little bit more representative and more tied to the club. So really excited to do that. I think that's, as I talk to the club, one of the things they keep on saying is they want to be a community club. Community club, community club, community club. They don't want to become a corporate club. They really want to build around the community. So I had a great conversation with them today. I'm not saying it's going to happen right away, but great conversation today about things like supporters trust. For those who have looked into it, Seattle Sounders have a supporters alliance that actually meets with the board of the Seattle Sounders. So
Nashville does as well.
Trying to lay some seeds there, trying to help with that. So we will have some kind of season ticket holder group tied to it. More to come. Obviously, more to come. We don't even know the name yet or what we're going to do with it. We're just still talking logos, but that's exciting. Number two, we are going to do a show. There will be a Fort Lauderdale United web show of some kind. You're hearing about it first. This is the first time we've talked about it all, but we're excited for that. And one other thing I'd say is, I was talking to the club today, and I'm like, so Fort Lauderdale United, what? And the big thing for this club is the glint. So if you look at the Fort Lauderdale United logo, in the middle of that little star, that's the glint. That's the glint off the ocean. That's the glint in a player's eyes when they're passionate and they're ready to go. And so really excited that I don't know if it's called the Fort Lauderdale United glint or it's just the glint. Like still kind of figuring all that out. But Yeah, no, I'm excited. Women's soccer in South Florida is so big. You look at on any given Saturday, any given Sunday, the fields are full of young women playing soccer. They're going to have something to see their stars playing in front of them. I just think this is going to be really great. And already talking about bringing that tailgating culture from the Greenlock gang to this. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I think of all the things we did this week, this one kind of really got me excited to have that call, get a little bit more tied to them, and more to come on it. So yeah.
We're Mike and I have already made our deposits, so you will see us at the stadium. We will be there. The season runs. First game will be in August, so I think it's on their website. They have a countdown. It's like 16 weeks and a couple days till till their home opener, or first game ever. So definitely check them out. Like Mike said, we will be doing for Lauderdale United show, hosted here. We'll also be, you guys who listen to us for Inter Miami will be unveiling logo, naming, everything we have will be unveiling here, until we have the new show up and running. So really excited to do that and to bring like the same kind of stuff we do for Inter Miami, both here and at the stadium, bring that to the new team. And, a lot of people I'm hoping are like me, have a daughter at home, have women that are important to them in their lives, and supporting women's soccer is a big part of creating the next generation of powerful women. And, that's something I want. And I want to be able to take my daughter to the park and to the field and say, hey, like, these are people role models you can have. This could be you. Just like I take my son and like he sees Messi and Suarez and these guys playing, and that could be him one day, or Noah Allen, or Kromoski, like the local guys. So if you haven't already, check it out. Follow them on socials. They're making a lot of announcements right now. I think they just announced a club ambassador. They've got they've a lot of stuff is happening between now and August. So now's a good time to start following. And hopefully we're able to bring what's special about Inter Miami to Fort Lauderdale United, but also make something different.
Yeah, no,
So,
the good ad is it's so rare you get to join a club when they start, like to be there, to be a day one. I know
Think
a lot of
about
us.
it. This is number 2.
Yeah, like a lot of us wear that day one badge with pride in the Inter Miami community, and I just think this is the same way for Fort Lauderdale United, that we're going to wear that day one badge with pride.
Their merch is pretty sweet too. I forgot to mention that.
And one hopes
the shirts and hats.
One hopes there's not going to be a pandemic on their launch day, so actually we'll get, when all the flags say first game, like there was actually a game that day.
We'll get it on the first game.
Yeah. I probably jinxed it now, but
yeah, moving right along. We're gonna jump into some transfer news. Inter Miami this week acquired an international roster spot from Montreal for 150. Yeah, 150K in GAM. It is heavily speculated that this is to create the roster opening for Mateus Rojas, to bring him in to the team. Mike apparently saw him.
Yeah, so gonna share something here that I don't think got reported. He was at the stadium Wednesday in full Inter Miami gear. He was sitting in the West section. He was just plain clothes in Inter Miami clothes. No one knew who he was. No one's gonna recognize the guy, but he was there. So I this is like putting one and one together. Like, this is clearly set up for Rojas. I know we've made a lot of speculative comments on the show, and not everyone has proven to be correct, but there is no doubt in my mind this is for Rojas. He's coming. This is a done deal. I think now the question is, and I mentioned it when we talked last week, I think we're at max roster. We have 30 people on the team. Someone has to go. And so I'm going to say this. I've been speculating it's Noah Allen. Now, I talked to IMCF Traveler a little bit offline, and he brought up the point that Noah takes up a spot that's reserved for young homegrown players. So he doesn't think it would be like a Noah Allen. And the only reason I'm saying it's Noah, there's actually reasons I think no. One is he hasn't been playing a lot. Tata is notorious that when you're going to be out the door, he stops playing you. He plays others. We've seen the emergence of Ryan Saylor much more. 2, something interesting happened today. If you follow us on Twitter, if not, go like and subscribe. Inter Miami released the roster for tomorrow today. And when they released it, Noah Allen's name was not on it at the initial launch.
Thanks,
and then,
Mike. Enjoy dinner.
Mike, you're gonna miss. Mike V just posted, "I'm out with my wife for dinner, but I had to stop by to say Martino sucks." Mike, if you wait like 10 minutes, I'm gonna go on a rant of rants. I've got spreadsheets to prove Martino sucks. But let me go back to where I was. So they released this roster for tomorrow. Now, obviously, it's all about showing that Messi's gonna play. Great. We'll talk about that too. But Noah's name wasn't on that list. Then CJ DeSantis wasn't on the list. And then about as soon as we posted like, "Hey, where are these names?"
DeSantis was on, or yeah, he was on there when I clicked the link when you messaged me.
They were adding
updating
it, which is weird, right? Like that's and we're making this as pure speculation and like pure rumor mill gossip. But it was just weird to me that here's a kid that's not playing. Here's a kid now not showing up on this list. Something is going on. So we know that someone has to get shipped. Like we can't use this without someone getting shipped. I get the point from Traveler that the roster spots don't line up, but I still think if we're gonna have to ship someone quickly, you find our cheapest player, you ship him for basically free, like 50,000 in GAM to some team, including his homegrown rights, and you open up for Rojas. That's kind of what I figure is gonna happen, but I don't know.
I have a different theory.
Go for it.
I think we're gonna loan out somebody like Borgelin. I think we loan them out to like a USL side, because Rojas is kind of coming in to fill that kind of role, and I think he probably takes a spot like that. Yeah, I'd be surprised if we transfer somebody right now, unless it was like again like we're bringing Rojas in to be an attacker. If we transfer out an attacker for an attacker, I get it, but
so.
We're so thin at center back. I just don't.
The third reason I was on Noah is that we have 3 left backs right now. Negri's playing for MCF2. He's coming back.
Your boy has said Noah Allen is not a left back. He's a center back.
Except when we needed center backs this week, he didn't play him. So anyway, okay. So anyway, something's up. Something's up. We know someone's going to move. This is all speculation as to who it is. The club's doing club things. Club's never released a roster the day before. Obviously, that was to show that Messi's going to play, and we will cover a little bit of speculation.
We'll get into our thoughts on that later.
But yeah, so I just want to say that Rojas was there, so he's coming, guys. Like this is definitely going to happen.
Ooh, Joe doing the investigative reporting. Joe's saying he's listed as a left back tomorrow.
All right, let's get into this Monterrey match.
We'll see.
Because
listen, this Monterrey match ruined a good day at Disney for me.
So let's get the roster. This was not a bad starting lineup.
This was one of the better starting lineups.
Yeah, like listing Gressel as a right wing. We weren't really playing a 4-3-3. Gressel was playing more of a midfield role. It was a good lineup. Okay, I'm not going to complain. It was.
Yeah.
I think the problem is when you look at the subs, and we saw this in the game. We had 2 goalies.
Yeah.
3 attackers. We had 1 center back. We have 1 left back center back, a CDM. There was no depth here. And this came to haunt us when we got into the match. People are going to say we don't
say that. I don't think roster selection is what cost us this game.
So let's everyone that's watching and listening knows what's happened, but I'll cover it real quick. First half goes great. Avalos scores at 19 minutes. Unfortunately, Robbie Taylor has to be subbed out 37 minutes for a hamstring injury, which he's not going to be out for 4 weeks, give or take. And we bring in Alfonso, who's Alfonso within 30 seconds collides with their goalie. And it was bullshit. They even called it as a foul because the ball was loose at the time and he was playing the ball. And then something happened towards the very end. And Brandon, you and I text a lot. Somebody got a yellow card. Now, you told me the broadcast was saying was Ruiz.
The broadcast was very adamant that it was Ruiz. They even showed it on the graphic. And what they later came back and said was that the yellow card was for Alba, but because of where the camera was showing, They didn't show Alba in the shot. Alba was standing behind Ruiz when he showed him the yellow initially.
So what's funny is, I texted you I was sitting in North stands. It was very clearly given, and my eyes, to Alba. Alba was
that's who I thought it was going to, because he was like all up in the ref's business.
But if you go to IMC, the Inter Miami website, and look at the game recap, it has Ruiz. Yeah. And it has Ruiz. Did you put that? Did you got that screenshot I sent you earlier or no?
No.
So it shows Ruiz in the end getting 3 yellows. The whole thing's still messed up. But anyway, this happens. Probably not consequential. But then fast forward to the 61st minute, Ruiz picks up his first yellow card. 4 minutes later, David Ruiz picks up a second on what was just a stupid foul. Like, I've watched the replay a dozen times. There's no reason for it. It was a hot-headed moment. This was CONCACAF, right? It's a CONCACAF match.
So it was.
Peppers are flying.
At the same time, like, Ruiz was playing like that the whole game. And hindsight, you can say he probably, everybody's gonna say, oh, in hindsight is easy to say this, but and I think I texted you before he got the second yellow. I'm like,
you did.
Ruiz
you said, well, you thought he had the first.
Out.
You still thought he had the first yellow. Like, it was all screwed
up. And so
up.
I was like, if the ref is gonna make this mistake, like, Ruiz is playing hot, Tata should sub him now.
But this is
sub him out and put somebody else in. Put somebody like Sunderland in.
And this is where the roster creation right away becomes an issue. The only sub available for his spot was Sunderland. That was it. There was no one else.
That would have been fine. I think that would have been absolutely.
But then you had no one else because you didn't have more midfielders.
Right, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at that point. If you have a midfielder playing like that in this game,
I agree.
Make that sub.
I agree. He should have, but I think that was a factor. So
I just don't know. But I don't know who else he could have put on the roster. Kremoski's close. He trained, but I wouldn't put Kremoski on this roster.
Listen, Negri and Kremoski both played serious minutes in IMCF2.
Yeah,
for an emergency
but if you have Negri on there, then you're not saying like, oh, I could put Negri in the midfield. But the only person he could have added to the roster that you would have been okay with as a center mid replacement is Kremoski. And I don't think you bring a guy who's coming off extended time off into play center mid. Now, maybe you take Gressel and you could have slid him into center mid and then brought in
you also what you could have done
2 up top.
You could have also brought a left back in and moved Alba. Alba's playing in the midfield half the game anyway at this point, especially on possession. So
you could have, but
my point is you didn't have anyone on the roster to allow you this kind of tactical decision making.
So I don't agree with that argument because he could have made the subs. He could have made adjustments.
Oh, he could have.
He had people on the bench who could have made the adjustments.
But I'm just saying another.
But there's nobody else he could have put that would have given you comfort in the tactical changes because of the injuries. Like, there's no one else.
My point is, this is another reason Tata sucks. I'm agreeing he's in a tough spot.
I don't think your roster can say that on the roster. You can't base that off of the roster. No.
I can just, it's just another thing. He should have Kremoski. Listen, Kremoski and Negri.
But
Kremoski and Negri.
Mike, your argument is that he did not have another center mid that he could have put in there.
No. That's not my argument. Hold on. That's not
what you just said.
I'm saying it is.
You said he built a roster where he didn't have the flexibility to make a sub to take David Ruiz.
He wouldn't have subbed him out anyway. I'm agreeing. Let me take a huge step back. He wouldn't have made the sub regardless. But a better manager would have not only made the sub, but he would have had a roster that allowed him to make the sub.
But Mike, who do you want him to put on that roster?
Kremoski is the first one I'd have on that name. I would have subbed Sunderland in.
A guy coming off of a sports hernia to have his first game time minutes against Monterey in CCC.
He played for MCF2.
Inter Miami CF2 does not count. MLS Next Pro, no.
Yes,
that's like sending a guy who plays for the Premier League into like the 4th or 5th division and saying that's the same level of competition. It's not.
I get it's a different level, but this is I get that we're injury hampered, But you at least put him on the roster and give yourself the option if you have to.
Can.
You
Because
absolutely can.
if you're going to tell Messi, if you're going to keep Messi off of this roster because you're trying to protect him, then you're going to want to put Kremovsky off the side too. Because Messi's played a lot sooner and had a much less significant injury than Kremovsky. And the worst thing that would have happened is Kremovsky coming into this match and getting hurt again.
I understand your point, but I would have at least had the emergency roster flexibility.
But that's not. But in no world would he have put Kremovsky in. Even in this exact scenario, there's no way he would have put Kremovsky in.
My point is, you put Sunderland in,
right?
And then if something else bad, and then if something else bad happens, you have more flexibility behind Sunderland.
I agree with you that Tata is bad. Tata is terrible. I think I said it on the show first that he's the worst.
Oh, he is.
But
all right,
you have to give him credit because
agree to disagree.
He couldn't have put anybody else on there. He couldn't have put anybody else on that roster and made you happy.
All right. Well, I'm never gonna be happy with anything he does at this point. If he wins CCC somehow, I'll be happy we have Messi because I'm gonna cover that because it's gonna be messy. So Ryan Saylor, emergency sub. We now pull Alfonso out again. So Alfonso's been got subbed in.
Alfonso should have never gotten subbed in. Alfonso was the wrong person to bring in there.
Who would you have brought in when Taylor went down?
Campana. I would have brought Campana in, and then
Alfonso's more of a like. It's a like for like.
No, what you would have done there is because we were already struggling to get behind them. We were struggling in the box. We needed somebody else to play off of Suarez up top, and I would have slid Gressel back into the midfield and played 4 in the mid and then 2 up top, and then you would have been able to make those runs behind them because you needed the size too, because their center backs were big and they were bossing us around.
So I'll accept that. I'll take that.
I agree, Pablo. Hold on.
Point for Brandon.
Thank you, Joe. But Pablo, I agree that Alfonso is faster, but speed is not the way we're going to beat Monterrey.
Well, but we were. That was our attack. We were going back to
our attack didn't score. Our attack didn't score. We weren't. It
wasn't.
But
our strategy. If you look at possession, we were not trying to maintain possession this game. We were trying to counterattack. Speedy counterattack was our game plan.
We were, and it didn't work.
It was the right game plan.
That's why I'm saying.
But that's why Alfonso went in because he was trying to maintain his game plan.
I get it. But like you had 37 minutes and it wasn't working.
So let's keep on going how bad this game is. So now we put Saylor in. Alfonso comes out. Monterrey scores at the 70th minute. And you knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time. And at that point, as the game kicks on, Monterrey used all 5 subs. They used 3 different windows. I think they used 2 windows plus the mid halftime. And they were bringing in fresh energy. And I know in the North stand, you can't see the warm-up area, at least where I was sitting. But we're all sitting there going, where the hell are our subs? What's going on? Our guys look sluggish. And if you look at the goals, they're caused by sluggishness. Gomez was tired. People said, well, you're going to blame Tata for Gomez's mistake. At some point, you do get to say it because he was exhausted. We all saw it. You could see it on all the runs he was making. And where I get frustrated is there were subs available. First off, everyone now agrees you could have subbed Sunderland. I also think you subbed in Noah Allen. And you take Jordy and you move into the midfield. Noah takes the left back position. And you pull out Gressel. What I would have done is pulled Gressel and I would have pulled Gomez. Brought in Noah to left back, brought in Sunderland to a CDM, and we have fresh legs all of a sudden, and we protect the tie. Like Ruiz caused us not to win this game. It sucks. He's a young kid. I'm not going to harp on it, but he caused us not to win. Tata caused us to lose because of poor sub management. We needed fresh legs, and Tata didn't give it to us. He just had. And if you go back to the picture we had, or the picture we're going to show in a second, like he spent the whole game pacing the sideline, arms crossed, walking up, walking down, doing nothing, hands behind his back. He was just watching. There was no motioning. There was no. I was watching. It was horrible. And like I was angry. I walked out that field angry at Tata because we could have pulled up. Okay, I'm gonna say it again, and I got flamed. We could have gotten a point. We could have gotten a draw. The way I put on Twitter was 3 points and 1 point versus a draw and a win. We could have gotten a draw. Yes, they would have had an away goal against us, which sucks because it kind of hurts. But we could have finished this at 1-1.
That
and
only
it would have been
matters
fine.
if we tie.
Right. It was possible. It was 100.
Yeah.
They scored in the 89th minute off of an exhausted team.
Joker. Point for Mike. Actually, if you count Pablo, because Pablo also gave Mike a point. So Mike's up 2-1. But I do want to talk about Pablo's point here. Tata does suck at subs.
Oh, yeah.
I think he nailed the starting lineup with what he had. Bench, we're going to agree to disagree on that one. But yeah, the subs, it's mind-boggling. Like in the New York City game, like we were chasing a win and he didn't sub anybody in. He didn't sub in an attacker. It's insane.
And I got to call out, Vasquez didn't score, right? Like everyone was scared of Vasquez. He ran over Cincinnati. We held him. Like we played that first half. We played
Our back line played amazing.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Until
Toto
Ruiz
had a hell of a game. Freire had a great game.
Yeah, like until Ruiz made the mistake. And again, he made a mistake. He caused it. He knows he caused it. Can't harp on it anymore. We were fine. We were going to win this game. But when things got bad, Tata did not have a plan. So
the other problem though, too, and you go, you make the point that our bench was not good. But Monterrey's bench is probably better than most teams' starting lineups in this league. So, when Monterrey goes to the bench, it's like they're really just bringing in another starter. It's insane.
Doesn't that even more so make the point that we needed to be subbing in fresh legs to kind of deal with it? And us doing nothing.
But I think the other thing too is like realistically, and we'll talk about it when we get into the Colorado game because we're gonna obviously talk about Messi. I think it's unrealistic at this point because previously I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to CCC. I'll be honest. Like I watched the Sounders win their CCC trophy, but I didn't pay attention to it because I didn't have a dog in it. I didn't really care. But watching the difference in talent, like MLS is never going to dominate this tournament or never going to win it, like not semi-regularly with the roster rules we have in place. And it makes even less sense at this point why we want to go ahead and do this twice a year and get our asses whooped by him in Leagues Cup.
I'll say, can I put one asterisk on that, which is certain MLS teams are figuring out how to get expensive players for cheap. And those are the teams. So like on paper, like on the numbers, our roster, I mean, if you count Messi, it's still a $70 million roster. Like we have a roster that comparably looks price-wise similar to Monterrey. LAFC is kind of doing the same thing.
No, we don't.
Monterrey's roster is only $70 or $80 million.
Yeah, but you have to take Messi out of that equation because so much of our money is tied up in one or two players.
Well,
it's
hold on.
Monterrey spreading it out.
True, but we also aren't counting real salaries for Alba, real salaries for Suarez. Suarez is playing for $150,000. He should have $5 to $10 million salary. Like on paper, like our roster actually is probably $100 million roster.
Which makes
it I get it. Half of it's Messi.
You have all of that tied up in 4 players, whereas Monterrey, because their roster rules allow them to spend money how they want, they're able to spread that out over their team, and they get a better team.
Oh, I agree, and that's why. But I'm saying like certain MLS teams will at least be able to get starting lineups that can compete. They might struggle on the bench, but the starting 11, they're going to do. And it's not going to be a Cincinnati. It's not going to be a Philadelphia. It's the LAFCs. If our favorite oil money, NYCFC actually starts investing, if the Citigroup actually starts really investing in that club, they'll be able to do it. But no, your point's right. Like we can't compete against Liga MX until we take the purse strings off. We untie the purse. So one more thing two things I want to cover. So we lost 2-1. They scored 2 away goals. So we either have to win 2-0 or we have to do 3. I think we have to win 2-0 or 3-2. Like a 2-1 win, we don't get through because of their away goals. That 2-1 actually gets us into a tie, and then we go to extra time. So really, it's going to have to be like if we do 2-1 to get 3. Anyway, we have a huge cliff to climb. And I can't, before we leave the game, and I get into my Tata rant, something happened after the game. And no one seems to know what happened, but there was an altercation post-game with Messi and Alba, both involved with the coach of Monterrey. Monterrey has filed grievances. CONCACAF has not yet decided how it's going to be handled. IMCF Traveler posted an interesting take today saying the reason Messi's playing tomorrow is because he's not going to be allowed to play on Wednesday to CONCACAF. It's a speculative statement, but there's some validity to the concept and that's running through his head right now. This has to play out, but this could be the nail in the coffin for our hopes at CCC before we even hit the pitch on Wednesday, unfortunately.
And I'll be honest. I predicted a 3-1 win or 3-1 loss coming into this game.
I had 2-1 loss. I called it. Just saying. Another point for me.
I don't think you did. But
on paper.
Cat wasn't on the podcast, so it doesn't count.
It's in the script.
Anyway, I don't think I don't even think we win at Monterrey. I don't. If we're not,
we can win. I do believe this. If Messi can play the full 90, like there's a lot of ifs and asterisks. If we can do that lineup, no Ruiz, no Taylor, put in Messi and I don't know who the other.
You probably move Negri up to the left wing.
If Negri's able to play
up,
yeah,
and then you have one of them play left back.
We showed we can win. Now, I will say one other thing. We lost 2-1. From my vantage point, I think Monterrey took their foot off the gas. They were happy with that. Like when I was looking on when they were in possession, even though they were up a man, they were keeping 2, almost sometimes 3 men back. They were more worried about us countering than them trying to press it. If they come at us full speed, which they would, like that is but we can win. Like this is a winnable game. I'm not going to make a commentary on what I think is going to happen yet. I want to get a little closer to the game and see who's
Monday.
Yeah, but
once everything shakes out, we'll talk about.
But it's absolutely winnable. All right, are we ready? Is it my time?
Well, before we do that, Joe brings up 2 good points. They did lose 2 players due to yellow card accumulation for the next game, for the second leg. My thought is they're just going to replace them with good guys. So we'll see. But that is a good point. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and remove myself from the screen so you guys can get a.
No, we got to put up I want my. There we go. All right, so Tata's bad. And it's not like we're just subjectively saying it. I spent a lot of time yesterday with spreadsheets trying to quantify Tata's coaching. And what I found is this. So we're going to use Phil Neville as our baseline for this conversation. Now, the majority of the club, the fan base thinks Phil Neville should have been fired. Phil Neville, in his time with Inter Miami, averaged 1.3 points per game and a 39% win percentage. And that wasn't good enough to keep his job. So let's just start with that. Tata, if you factor in every competitive match, so this does not count preseason, Branton. So I want to be clear, did not count preseason when I did this work. He is at a 50% win percentage and 1.7 points per game, which is better than Neville. I wouldn't say far better. But I took time out to say, okay, what happens when Messi is on the field versus Messi isn't on the field? When Messi's on the pitch, Tata's win percentage jumps to 74%, 2.36 points per game. When Tata does not have Messi, which is of the roughly, and by the way, these numbers might be 1 or 2 off because I wasn't that great. So Tata's coached roughly 32 games. At about 30% of the time, Messi's not there. Tata averages 0.77 points per game, a 15% win percentage. Essentially, if Messi's not playing, Tata has at best a 1.5 out of 10 chance to win the match. Like, we've often said that Messi is the factor in Tata. Like, it's not Tata, it's Messi. The numbers prove it out beyond a doubt. And so I was actually talking to Solana a little bit yesterday about this. And his comment was, well, if you look at Barcelona, he told me this number, so I'm going to take it as fact. It was the same thing. Messi was on the field, it was 19% versus when Messi wasn't on the field, he only won 19% of the time. But here's my point. Barcelona was playing in La Liga, which you take Messi out and it's a lot more consistent. We're still a team with Suarez, Alba, Gressel, Busquets, Calendar, one of the best keepers in the league. And Tata can only win 15% of the time in that situation. Like, it's almost like we'd be better with no manager at all than when he's on the pitch. Like, it is, you can't question how bad a coach he is when you see that he can't win without Messi. And I think this is really scary. I think the numbers so prove out what a lot of us have been feeling for quite some time. And so in my Twitter argument I got on Wednesday night, people are saying, why the Tata hate? This is why. If Messi's not on the pitch, we're not going to win. It's clear as day we're not going to win. In fact, without Messi, we've only won 2 times. We've drawn 4 times and lost 7 times without Messi on the field. What do you say about this? Like, how do you look at this and in any way defend Martino? Now, we've gone all, his roster management's horrible. His subbing is horrible. His tactics, we're going to put Busquets as a center back. Well, Noah and others, his center back for the previous 6 matches is sitting on the bench. Like, and I've checked. Noah is healthy. There's no injuries. Like, Tata's just a bad coach, but the numbers back it up. So I am firmly now on the Xavi in, Tata out. I'm hoping that's what's going to happen because we are not going to I know everyone's looking at right now the standings saying, oh, we're second in the East, we're in a great spot. We're second in the East because we've played 1 or 2 more games than everyone else. At a points per game level, we're actually 8th in the East. So we're already on the line of not even making MLS Cup, and that's before we have to do a huge run with no Messi, which, if we have 8 matches, we'll win 1 of them. Like, we are in a really bad spot. So, yeah, I was calm, even a little rum. Branton, you can come back on the show now. But the numbers speak. Like, Tata is just a horrible coach for us. Like, we are doing worse with Tata than we ever did with Neville. And the fan base has to come around to this and the ownership that this is going to not get better until Tata's out.
Yeah. I'm glad you put together that Excel spreadsheet, and it told you everything I've been telling you since day one.
I'm hoping Danny from Batter Herons, because Danny loves a good spreadsheet. He loves when I get the math going. I looking forward to him reaching out to us because, man, he's a Tata fan, and I'm curious what he's gonna say to us.
He's an Inter Miami fan. Let's say that I wouldn't say that he's in love with Tata. But yeah, Danny does love a good spreadsheet. Fun fact.
He does love a good spreadsheet.
He has a master's in mathematics.
Well, he can review my numbers.
He should.
But yeah, I just think it's one of those things when I looked at the numbers, like,
oh, sorry guys,
I plug it in,
I see phone again.
I see 15%. It was one of those times when I saw that 15% number, and I'm like, that can't be true. There's no he's that bad. But he is. We can't win without Messi. And maybe last year it was more acceptable when we struggled to have an offensive attack. But we've got Suarez, who's undeniably one of the best strikers in MLS right now. And as I think he won Player of the Month. So Mike Vigos, there's tons of more
down off the soapbox here.
So one more, if I can say one more thing. It's interesting because we were at the tailgate on Wednesday, and we were talking about Martino, and a bunch of people said to me, yeah, I don't like him either, but I'm scared to say, like, there's a fear of bashing Martino right now because as there's kiss asses, there's people want to like him.
Bashing Tata right now is like if you were to say something bad about Taylor Swift.
Don't you dare.
The fan base is going to come after you. He's got defenders just like she does. where they'll come after you. I'm not saying anything bad about Taylor Swift.
TJ will
let's be
hunt you
clear.
down.
But you know how her fan base is.
Yes, I do.
You say one thing, they're on it, and they defend her blindly, and that's how a lot of Tata fans are. It's the same thing with Marcelo Bielsa, like Tata Swizzle. Good one, Pablo. But yeah, no, it's exactly like that. It's the same thing, and they love him till the end, and I don't know if they're I don't know what the love is. Because what your spreadsheet shows, and it's something I've talked about all season, is top talent is making up for Tata's tactical ineptitude.
It's
And the more the more that we start seeing things happen, the more people are going to start saying, "Oh yeah, it's Tata. It is Tata. You're right. It is Tata," because that's what it is.
but it's funny
Because
because it's right now you're saying, oh, it's not Tata, it's the center. We don't have enough defense. Our defense is great. Like, we've really played, except for the New York Red Bulls drumming. Like, we had 3 goals scored against us prior to that. Like, we have a
when
sound.
we play in a back four, our
We're sound.
defense is flawless. But when
Yeah.
we go to Tata's favored back five, we look like shit. Our back
Again,
four
Tata.
shut down Monterey.
Yeah. They were under
Shut
pressure all
down.
night and were able to handle it.
And Brandon Vasquez, you could see it in you couldn't see it in stadium, but the camera was constantly watching him and Toto.
Toto was pissing him off
in his head. And
I
Toto
saw
just followed him around on every
the
set
first.
piece,
I think it was
the first
set. I think it was the first set piece. Toto, the ref came over to calm Toto down because he was shoving him, pushing him. We knew how to handle it. That we can handle. So, it's a problem. Like, Tata's a problem.
Pablo nailed it again. Weigand is a big plus. You're absolutely right.
Huge difference.
Having the right back there, a more defensive minded right back is really helping because it's giving. I think that's what gave Jordi Alba the freedom to kind of move into the midfield a lot. Like, he was kind of roaming most of the first half, and you didn't have that with Yedlin. Not because Yedlin's a bad player, but because Yedlin was also pushing up. So that left you exposed. But Weigand,
it feels to me, and maybe it was, again, my perception was north stand. It feels to me almost we go to a back three when on possession. Jordy goes way up, and then Weigand is standing back to help.
It's kind of like in what I thought about, and obviously because I watch it all the time, is when you watch Liverpool play and Trent Alexander-Arnold, when TAA moves up into the midfield, Andy Robertson stays back, and you see that shift to the back three. And that's kind of what it looked like, because Alba was being that playmaker in the midfield because we didn't have Messi. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. And when you don't have Messi, it works.
Since you brought up Liverpool, can I just say something? I need to get this off my chest. I paid a ton of money to go see Chelsea in person. They tie a 10-man Burnley. 3 days later, they beat Man United. What the hell? What the hell? Why is Chelsea have to Chelsea? I don't know. It just bothered the hell out of me. Like, sorry, I'm walking away.
I told you a long time ago.
Should have been a Liverpool.
You picked the wrong EPL team to support.
I just like my teams to be consistent. Inter Miami, Chelsea, they just feel like I'm watching the same teams on any given day. I don't know what they're gonna do. Yeah,
they win a trophy here and there, and enough to keep you interested.
Man, Mike V attacking Chelsea now too.
I have to tell you this, man. You said that you were at dinner with your wife. You either have the most understanding wife of all time, or she thinks you have food poisoning. You've been in the bathroom so long,
or she thinks you have another woman and you're texting with her the whole time instead of
swapping tables. Huh?
Yeah. All right, so Tata sucks. Like, there's no fourth bathroom break. They went to Taco Bell and he's just using it as an excuse. Yeah, Tata sucks. I need to get that out. I needed to put in the numbers. And And unfortunately, what it just leaves us with. Oh, so I want to say, I was going to say this earlier. I get in MLS, it's hard to win when you don't have DPs. Like the way the league is built, if your DP is injured. But when you're Inter Miami and you have essentially 8 DPs, 7 DPs, when you have that, both Alba and Suarez do not count as designated players. They took such massive pay cuts to come here. So we've got our 6 DP or 3 main DPs, then we've got 3 young DPs, and then we've got 2 not DPs. Like you should still be able to win when we don't have Messi. Like we've got
we
enough
probably
other.
have the most talented U22 DPs.
Yeah.
In Gomez, and yeah, I get Redondo wasn't available, but
Like,
it's no excuse.
There's
Like
no excuse.
we have the talent to be a force to be reckoned with in MLS, and we're not doing that.
No.
And
We even
you
without
can't.
Messi, like we showed yesterday that we could have beat Monterrey. So, like, we know we have the talent, and the minute we went from players on the field, because the players on the field were able to do it, but the minute you needed the manager to make decisive changes to keep them into it, it failed. And the best part was, I don't know if you don't follow my Twitter, make sure you're following M. Longan. I posted this. Tata complained about the legs of his own players in the post-match press conference. He had the balls to make the comment about his guys were tired as he sat on 3 unused subs. Now I get it. You
I
probably
think
could
that
use all
was
3,
more, but I think that was more him piggybacking off of like what the Revs coaches said and Columbus Crew's coaches said. Like it's unrealistic for us to expect that we're going to compete with these Liga MX teams at full strength.
You know,
And I
I don't.
think he's creating excuses for himself is what he's doing,
Yes,
because he knows we're not getting through this.
but he could have. We could have.
Like we know we could have. And to be fair, we could have won 1-0. That doesn't mean we're going to go through to the next round, because going to Monterrey is a big task. It's a big task.
I'm sorry. If Ruiz doesn't go down, we win that game 2-0. I believe this. 100% believe this. And now we're going down to Monterrey with possibly Messi playing. We can get through this. We could have gotten through this.
In no way were we going to win 2-0. Our attack was nothing. Like this could have been a 0-0 draw if it wasn't for Alves accidentally kicking that ball into the back of the net. Like, let's be honest.
There was moments. It only takes one moment, and there were moments. Suarez was looking for his moment. We could have won. Listen, we could have won.
Suarez was looking for his moment, but the problem was there was no one to support him. There was no one else getting into the attack, which is, again, why I said you need to bring in Campana, because you need somebody for Suarez to play
I get
off
it, but my point is that we could have won this series. It was winnable.
I would challenge you the next time, like when we get to Leagues Cup, I would challenge you to watch our opponents from Mexico play before you make statements like that. You don't.
I watched the Monterrey Cincinnati series because I know how good Monterrey is.
Monterrey in Chase Stadium was not the Monterrey. That's not how they play. When they go full speed against us at home, it's going to be serious.
If we had, but they didn't. That was the point. Even the first half, they weren't. And if we could have escaped with a win, with more than 1 point, you go down to Monterrey and you just got to hold.
Monterrey was playing for the tie, in my opinion. I don't think
they were. Fine if they were, but we were playing for the win, and sometimes it works out. This was winnable. I'm not saying you were guaranteed
scored off
to win.
A set piece. It was luck.
There was more goals to be had. Our defense was holding strong.
There wasn't, man.
There was.
There what? When?
There was multiple attacking pieces.
Please tell me when. Tell me.
I don't know. Again, I'm sitting in North Stand. I could barely see the fucking game. But there was moments where we took the first half, we were taking shots. Not the second half. Obviously, all went to shit. But in the first half, we had shots. How many shots did we have overall?
I'm pulling it up now because I need my numbers to show you. because you won't just listen.
No, I never.
You
just
need the
listen to you.
numbers.
I do.
You need the numbers. So here we go.
Wait,
We
this
had
is not the
8
right thing.
shots, 8 shots, 2 on target, 0 big chances. Monterey, 21 shots on goal, 8 on target, 1 big chance.
How many of those
Our
were the problem?
passing.
Do it half and half. The half, it's the tale of two halves.
First half, we had 6 shots on goal, or 6 total shots, 2 on target. Monterey had 6 total shots, 3 on target. Second half, we had 2 shots on target.
Yeah, well, second
They
half
had
is
15
shit.
with 5.
Yeah, we were
With 5 on
defending.
target.
We were defending for our lives in the second half.
But see, this is the thing. And so this is why I'm telling you, like, Monterey is a much bigger task than you're making it sound like. It's because
I'm not saying we're
no,
guaranteed to win.
you're saying
I'm saying it was
gonna
winnable.
win.
I believe we
You
could have
said
won.
we were going to win 2-0.
Yes.
You said if it wasn't for Ruiz, we were going to win 2-0.
The way we
and
played
I'm
that first half,
that
we would have
heavily.
won that 2-0.
No, we would not have. We would not have,
think we
because
would've.
we couldn't have sustained that attack. Because if you watch Monterey play, you know that first half was not them. That was not how they played. They turned it on in the second half.
Campana would have gone in the second half.
No, he wouldn't have. Tonto wasn't going to play him. Don't even.
He would have gone in.
This is the stat that we should find more worrying, right? Because they dominated the shots on us, but they're passing. They completed 91% of their passes. We completed 86% of our passes. They bossed that game. And them being at home, that's a very scary thing for me. This could be another humiliation match.
I don't think
very
so.
Easily.
It depends who we bring.
Messi doesn't defend. Messi is good for a goal or two, but I'm telling you, Monterey at full force can put up 4 or 5 on us.
With Messi on the pitch, it's not going to happen.
Messi doesn't defend, man.
But the problem is it's not that. It's if you have Messi there, you can't bring 10 guys forward. You have to leave some people back
and that's fine.
To handle that.
The guys they bring forward are better than the guys that we have defending.
But we
don't have Ruiz.
Well, we've got Kramaski.
Kramaski's not going to start this game. No way.
He's going to play.
He'll play. He won't start. And he's not a defender.
I know.
We're going to rely on Busquets to defend?
Oh, please don't say that.
That's what we're doing. That's what's happening. He's playing CDM.
No.
Who's playing CDM?
Bright.
Bright is injured. He's on the injury report. Yes, he is. He's not on the game day roster for Colorado. He's injured.
You didn't see? Wait, which version of the game day roster?
Check the game day roster. He's not on it. He's hurt.
Okay, then maybe we are fucked.
Yeah. So let's do a little research before we hop on this.
Do you know how much time I spent on that damn spreadsheet? I had something had to give. I also
that I drove back from Orlando today, and I was able to put this together.
I had to work. I worked today. You'd had the day off.
I'm gonna tell. Let me go back to Joe's comment that you definitely took a sick day off.
I did not take a sick day, and I had a whole Fort Lauderdale United morning, as you are well aware.
Well, that's your fault because you could have given him my number.
I'm working on that.
But anyway, unless Mike's looking up his number here for
867.
He's out. I think it's a hamstring is what they had him listed. Same as Robbie.
I'm looking for.
Yeah, Yannick's out.
Oh, he is. Yep.
Yeah. So I doubt he's ready to play a full 90 in Monterey. So that's what I'm telling you, man.
It's not gonna be embarrassing. It's not gonna happen. Dude, believe.
Well, listen, and this is the time to talk about it. Messi, there are rumors that Messi's suspended. If Messi's not there, it's gonna be bad.
No, if Messi's not there, it's another Saudi Arabia. I'm saying if Messi plays, we're not getting embarrassed. If Messi not
plays,
there,
it's a close loss. It's a 5-2.
5-2 is not a close loss.
It's a close loss.
In what universe is a 5-2 loss considered a close loss?
We looked competitive for the first half, and we give up 3 stupid goals in the last 20 minutes.
That score line is never ever considered a close loss.
Mm.
If Messi's there, it's gonna be 3-1.
Them.
Yeah, 2-1.
That's
I don't think
a margin of.
I just it's not gonna be a blowout. Is my point at this point.
We'll see.
And if we'd and again, it's gonna be a different game if we'd gone in there with a win, and we weren't, because now we have to play aggressive because you have to win. You can't park the bus, and
that's playing right into Monterey's hands.
100%. But this is going back to if we had won this game, or even tied this game.
But I think even if we won, like, let's say realistically, Monterey was always going to score in my mind. So I thought best case scenario is like a 2-1 win. Even if we go away with a 2-1 win, like, I think we still have to be aggressive against Monterey at their stadium. Because we want that away goal. We want that one away goal.
No, because then you try to park the bus. You play. Do you? I know, kind of random game. Jamaica versus the U.S. Did you watch that game?
Yeah.
When Berhalter totally fucked it up. But what did Jamaica do? They had 11 guys behind the ball at all times and stifled our ability to score. Now, is Monterey better than the U.S. men's national team? Yeah, they are. I'm not going to even pretend that's not a true factor. But still, when you put 11 men behind the ball, it's really tough to score.
Yeah. That's fair. Anyway, let's move on
now,
to...
Would Tata be smart enough to put 11 men behind the ball? No, he'd probably actually decide that we're going to try to score as many goals as possible. And
all right. Take it easy. We've done enough Tata hate here.
No, we haven't.
For the episode. Yes, we have. We have for now. But we got to move on. To the Colorado Rapids preview. This is not the Colorado Rapids of old. This is not the Colorado Rapids even of last year.
I don't think the Colorado Rapids know who they are.
I think they know. I think they're just trying to tell the rest of MLS who they are.
But they're
Jordy Mihailovic is back in the league. Scored 2 goals in their game against LAFC. Zach Steffen between the sticks. Pretty good team.
But okay, so they're 2-2-2, 1-1-1 at home, 1-1-1 away.
Yeah.
Only played 6 matches. Beat LAFC, lost to Portland badly. Like, they're not consistent, is I guess the point I'm making. That they haven't quite figured out their own identity yet.
Well, I think it's a lot better than what they have historically been, which is an easy win.
This is an MLS playoff team, hands down. They will make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
They're sitting 7th in the West right now, but they'll make the playoffs. They tied Nashville. I was looking for a mutual game. You know, we beat Nashville and tied Nashville. They tied Nashville at home. I can't pronounce the dude's name. The guy who said back in the league.
Mihailovic.
He's their top scorer right now. He's been their entire major attacker. It's a tough game. It is.
Yeah.
But it's an absolutely winnable game. And
we know Messi's playing.
Messi's playing. Doesn't mean we don't know for how long. And we don't know if he's starting.
Yeah. We have no clue.
But let me put this statement out here.
Back.
There's no excuse for us losing the game with or without Messi.
No.
Even without Messi, this is a winnable game for us. We are a better team than them. They're traveling, and they're traveling east, which is always harder than traveling west. Now, they don't have the midweek games that we did, fine, but we
Mike V, man.
Little
update for those listening who didn't see when I posted the comment. Mike V is fine. His wife is understanding because he is he's at Ale House. She's on the phone with her mother. And then he now comes in with this comment. They're coming here to play their asses off because everyone now believes that they can beat Miami. And so let me also Ale House, got to step up your game. The drinks are weak as fuck.
Let's just take a moment to discuss Mike V for a second. So Mike V is on a date with his wife. He brought her to Ale House. He's leaving her to watch a
No, he's
web
at the
show
table. He's at the
while
table.
she
She's on the
talks
phone.
while she's talking to her mother. There is nothing in that conversation being said well about Mike V right now. Like Mike V is not in a good spot. Wishing you the best of luck. I'm looking forward. Like I'm
I think
looking
he's
forward
fine.
to. I look forward to on Monday for us to get an update on how this ended up. Like he slept on the couch tonight, doghouse. Mother-in-law showed up and hit him with a chancleta. Like something's gonna happen. I'm just saying it's not good.
I think he's all right. If she's on
I
the
want an
phone with the
update.
mother, he's all right. We'll find out. We'll find out Monday.
I don't know your
Mike V
relationship,
Chronicles.
but when my wife's on the phone with her mother at Ale House and I'm not paying any attention to it, it has never been good. The long term has never been good for me.
That might be a you problem more than a universal problem, because when my wife is not paying attention to me, I don't have to sit there and stare at her. I can go and do something else. I'm not going to leave the table, but I can sit there and watch something on my phone or check emails or something.
Your wife is a beautiful woman, a saint. I look forward to next time I see her having a conversation about this.
Ask her.
I'm gonna fact check this.
Go ahead. When she is not occupied and I'm on the phone, then it's a problem. Yeah. So
all right. So we've diverged.
Yeah.
It's got a little weird. But still, I want to hear next week on what's happening. Mike, if you're going to the game tomorrow, why don't you ever stop by the tailgate? As Mike V, I don't really know. I would love to meet the mythical Mike V. I saw him on PH. I've seen him here. Stop by, man.
Never meet your heroes.
That's why I can meet Mike V. It won't be a problem.
Oh, oh.
So
anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was gonna say is just a reminder, we will be there tailgating. We will be flying the Inter Miami show and the Green Lot Gang flags in the Green Lot. Tailgating starts at 5 o'clock tomorrow. The Inter Miami show bus will be there at 5 o'clock to get it going. I have no wife and kid for the game tomorrow, and I'm driving, so this will be an interesting mix. Joe Kerr is going to be my date for the game, so we're gonna see how this goes.
Nice. Yeah, I will not be in attendance.
What problem was TJ was supposed to be in a soccer tournament, so I tried to sell my tickets. I sold one. Then his team forgot to sign up in time, so they're not having a soccer tournament. So all of a sudden, I only had 2 tickets for 3 people, and the decision was made that Mike's going to the game and Tracy's staying home with TJ. So that's how I ended up having a Mike night. Super excited. Mike,
Green
we
Lot,
always.
Mike V.
Yeah, we always park in the Green Lot. We always park. We partner with the Siege, with Black Herons United, throw a big tailgate every game. Bay 13 will be out there. They offer a great deal. It's $12 all you can drink IPA. $12.
That's if you do it beforehand, I think.
Is it 15? That's 15 at the there. It's $15 for all the beer you can drink, or $15 for all food you can drink, and they're doing hot dogs and chicken wings, or $25, I think, for combination all you can eat and drink.
Yeah.
It's a nice deal. The food is great. They're cooking it right there in front of you. But yeah, no, we got a great tailgate. We always do it. It's good time.
Yeah. But back to on the field.
It says Longan on the back of my jersey as I'm wandering around.
He will be wearing 4 different jerseys, Mike V. So just look out.
2 jerseys.
He's got a 3rd and a 4th in the car in case it rains.
It's true.
But yeah. So the Rapids. What are you thinking here, Mike?
So let's talk about the past few games. New York Red Bulls got trounced. We got embarrassed by NYCFC. We just lost.
Embarrassed by NYCFC?
1-1. We should have won that match, hands down. Like that was.
But that's embarrassing to you?
For this team, the team walked away not happy with that match. I think this is the revenge game. I think we're going to come out swinging. I'm going to a 3-1 win. I think we're out for blood. We got to win. We got to get a win.
Yeah.
And if we lose, I think a loss tonight gets you and Mike V what you've been begging for. The tables turn on Tata if we lose tonight this week.
I love how you put it on just me and Mike V. You're ready to back down already from Tata out.
I just know it'll make you happy.
Yeah, I think 2-0 2-0 win. I think there's Mihailovic could sneak one in, but I don't think they're a real contender to beat us. And I say 2-1 win because I think once we go up 2-0 at half, I can see us pulling some guys to rest for Wednesday.
So here's an interesting question. David Ruiz. So he can't play Wednesday because he's on red card.
Can he play?
Does he? He can't play on Wednesday. He can play tomorrow.
No. Can he play tomorrow though? Because
of course, it's different tournament.
Still a CONCACAF sanctioned event.
Because you can't. It's not going. You can't force him to miss 2 games. They're going to keep it. He won't. It's the same way the Monterey guys are on yellow card. It'll affect their next game. So
yeah, but yellow card accumulation, you miss 1 game. Red card, don't you miss more?
In
red card is
in like world. I'm just thinking of the World Cup. It's only 1 card. It's only 1 game.
Okay.
I'm assuming similar tournament as World Cup.
I figured CONCACAF gonna CONCACAF.
So my assumption is Ruiz can play. I will be curious. Does he play? And if he plays, does he overcompensate? Does he do something stupid because he's trying too hard? Which that's why I think you see a goal getting scored, like something like that. Lets the ball in the net.
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Mike V's out, by the way. He just got the look. He understood the look.
Which means the wife got off the phone and it's time to pay attention to her. So good on you, Mike V.
So yeah, but I think it'd be interesting with what happens with David Ruiz. Do we see him?
I would prefer.
He is listed on the roster.
I would prefer not to see him. That's what I would prefer, because I would prefer that we send a message and be like, man, because it's not the first time he's done like stupid, foul shit. And I would rather see him like get the message now than do this again down the playoff run or something like that when we really
here's what I'll say. This, I get your point, and in most cases I'd agree, but to the comments we've had that we are injury depleted, if we can play Ruiz as a starter,
I don't think you need him to beat Colorado.
But let somebody else back. No, but let somebody else rest, because I don't think Messi starts, or if he does, he's not playing a full game. Like I don't want someone that could be rested for Wednesday not rested because we didn't want to play Ruiz. That's my thought process.
That's a fair thought. So we'll see what happens, but I'd expect to see. Yeah, we'll see. I expect to see Messi start and play at least 60. If he's going to go Wednesday, we'll see. So yeah, moving right along to our final topic of the night. Got to throw some love to my boy Suarez, man. Player of the month for March. Had 5 goals, 3 assists, and 7 appearances in MLS. As I told you guys, and Mike didn't believe me, he will come here and be a top 3 striker in this league. And that's exactly what he's done.
I stand corrected. Like, he's my Golden Boot nominee right now. At
there
this point.
is a world where Messi is in this league and Suarez wins MVP.
Oh yeah,
100%. It could.
It's not even like
it's at this rate. It's going to happen.
Messi's going to play no more than 20 matches out of the 34 at this rate.
Yeah.
So it's going to be there's going to be people that want to vote Messi, but there's going to be this big argument that Messi didn't even play enough matches to qualify. Whereas Suarez could be the Golden Boot winner.
If Suarez wins the Golden Boot, like, that's it.
Yeah. I don't think there's a world. I think that's a very likely world right now.
And I love it. And Pablo, you did say something earlier, and I did see it, about my Suarez print in the back. And yeah, redid the background. threw up. I talked about it 2 weeks ago. Matt732 on Twitter did these prints. I think he's got another Messi. I think he's gonna do an Alba at some point. He's got every team you could imagine prints and stuff for. So yeah, check him out. They're relatively cheap. I think it was like 14, 15 bucks. And he shipped it here from England. So check it out. Highly recommend. Mike is rubbing his chin very.
No, so this was super funny. I'm on Twitter and I just randomly found our groundskeeper's Twitter account. And I'm like,
you don't follow him?
Now I do. I'm his 1,000th
this whole time you haven't followed him?
I didn't know he had a follow. No.
Oh my God. You got to throw his Twitter handle up for everyone, because if you're not following him, it is incredible. I love his account. Some of the backgrounds for like my computers at work and stuff are like pictures from his Twitter account.
I just posted on the chat. It's at Matt Brud, MATTBRUD. I didn't even know this was a thing, and now yeah, it's super cool.
Awesome. Yeah. And he's always posting pictures like working on the back fields, the front fields. Like, and what's really cool is when they switch it over to football, like American football and stuff. He has pictures on there when they do that. Like, really awesome follow. Like, great content.
And he talks about the shit. He's like, day 2, tried to stay off the field, sprayed Heritage Action Earth mix.
Yeah.
Like, it's super interesting. Yes, that's why I got distracted for this.
And I started getting into this because I started following some of the other people that he follows, because a lot of other groundskeepers for different sports follow him and like interact with him. So I started following them, and it is so interesting what they go through to make sure that these fields are pristine. And like, it gives you new respect. Like when you see the fields torn up and like, you're like, oh man, what the hell are they doing? You could go on his account and you'd be like, oh, I didn't know they played like 3 high school football games in there, a college football game. And oh yeah, there was 2 Inter Miami games in the span of 10 days. Like, you get all that from the account. It's so cool.
It's crazy that it's taken me so long to find it, because 36 people I follow this guy. Like, you would have thought it would have popped up.
Well, like, you didn't see the look on my face, but I'm like, how could you not follow Matt?
Now I am.
It as an Inter Miami fan, like, it is a must follow.
All right, so we got totally.
Speaking of the grounds, Joe Kerr, did you guys see the car stuck in the yellow lot? That poor Lexus, man.
You know what happened?
Wow. Dude, I think it was the Only in Dade or Only in Broward Instagram account. Put it out there. The car sunk in the sand, the wheels, and it was like halfway buried in the yellow lot. The wheel, not the car, just the wheel, the back wheel. And he's gunning it, and it's just digging further and further in, because I don't know what they were thinking. Only in Broward. It's on the Only in Broward. Thanks, Joe. Instagram account. And I don't know what the city was thinking, like filling up this lot with sand, because it's that sugar sand. And if I mean, peek behind my life, if any of you guys out there are fellow mountain bikers, sugar sand, and you just hit it and you just sink right away. And somebody put it out there to fill holes, I guess, because that car is done.
They try to stick a cone under its tire to give it some more leverage.
To get traction, and like it wasn't happening. They probably had to tow it out.
Yeah. Like, it is deep in there.
And like,
I just posted the link on the chat, and we're putting on the video too for anyone who wants to watch.
Next game I go to, I'll videotape my drive into Yellow Lot, because Mike's never been to Yellow Lot, guys.
That's not
true. Never even looked at it.
I have been there.
All right, U.S. Women's National Team game, right? That was it?
No, I had a green lot for that.
Oh, let's see.
Years ago, like one of the first matches, I parked there.
Yellow Lot from the first match. It's very different now. Like you're going in and there's like these freaking hills. Like if I didn't drive an SUV, like I would be scraping the bottom of my car against things to constantly there.
Man,
It's
I just feel bad for this
insane,
guy's Lexus. Like,
right?
I would never take my car into this. This is crazy.
But this is like the things that people are walking into is like they don't know. They don't know that's the parking
And
arrangement.
I told when those green light passes went up this year, I was texting friends. I'm like, they're new to the club. I'm like, get the green light pass. Make sure you get the
Yeah.
green light pass. Don't screw this up.
I was like, I'm not going to be at enough games to make the green lot pass worth it for me.
Yeah,
so I
but
didn't
it's
go
the
for
most.
it.
It's even to this day, it's the most valuable thing you can resell.
My tickets have been pretty valuable. I've gotten more percentage wise out of my tickets than I bet you have out of yours.
Remember, I very rarely sell.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I did wait. The only time I sold,
I
I got
sold for 2 games more than you.
I only sold for one game officially because what I sold my ticket for tomorrow to a buddy, so I gave him to a discount. But the one game I sold for, I got 4x.
Okay, so we're about the same. I got a little more than 4 times on a couple of tickets.
Yeah, I got 4x on those tickets.
Yeah.
Give or take 4x.
Yeah.
Which is why I actually don't. We're not gonna get into this one now, but I
let's
actually
not
don't.
do it.
I don't think the
Don't
tickets are
do it.
technically overpriced because we're getting so much on resale right
Do
now.
it.
Just saying, I don't
Just
think they are.
you've had your soapbox moment. I even left the show so you could finish. Oh, but anyway, yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. We're both predicting a win tomorrow. You know, tune in to the game. Definitely watch it if you can't be there. If you can be there, come by Green Lot, meet Mike, and maybe Mike V. And have a drink with Mike. And I think he still has some Inter
Joe Kerr
Miami
will be
Show
there.
stickers. Joe Kerr will be there. I think he's still, yeah. It'll be a good time, and I'll be back at the next home game. Unfortunately, brothers have to have birthdays and they have to be on game days, so that's always fun. But
Gotta have priorities.
yeah, that's
Gotta
right.
have priorities.
But yeah. Again, follow us on social media on Twitter, Instagram. Like and subscribe here on YouTube if you're listening here, so you never miss any of our content that we drop. And also, if you're not following us on socials, you could miss when we decide to launch the new show, any new updates that we get, things like that around Fort Lauderdale United.
Yeah, make sure
So,
you're following all the socials, our personals too, because we
yeah,
try to. I'd say this: we try to keep the Inter Miami Show social a little more conservative, but
yeah,
we don't hold back on ours.
yeah. If you want to see me crying about the Marlins, definitely follow me on Twitter.
Hey, totally random.
Uh,
Turns out one of my nephews is like a super up and coming baseball player for Boston College, and they're expecting him to get drafted soon. So we got to catch up on
Nice.
that about some of it. It sounds pretty cool. He's coming down to play Miami, I guess, next year
Cool.
against the Hurricanes.
That's awesome. Very cool. But yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. And we will see you on the next one. We are out of here.